Welcome back to Dow Twang. I'm Dave. This is a quick part two from the lesson just yesterday that it came out. And I'll have links, where you can get back and forth between the two in the comments. I'll pin top comments that have the link to each one. So you can put them together, and they're both going to be short. This one will as well. The one yesterday was. And a couple of things right off the bat. Somebody, I don't know the last name, and I probably wouldn't, say folks' last names. And, some folks use a handle and stuff. But a viewer named Jeff pointed out that evidently yesterday I didn't say anything about the thirds being flatted on the minor chords. So great comment. And a couple of other folks jumped in and supported that knowledge or that question. And I put my 2 cents in there, but as often happens, it had already kind of been taken care of by the time I got to it. So today, we're doing a similar thing. So this time I'm going to put up some diagrams and really show you kind of a 2 octave pattern for each one. But it's the same idea, like, how to work with this stuff, right? Put the backing track on or go off to the side or, set a metronome or get somebody else to play the chords for you and switch back and forth, whatever your situation is. And rehearse these arpeggio shapes and the sequences. And then, start working in your blues scale stuff and things with that. So I think that's working out. The plan that we had yesterday. So this is just kind of building on that. And I just wanted to give a shout out and a thanks to those that kind of picked up some of the pieces that I dropped there, right? And that's really cool. So here's the first one. Now we're going kind of chord by chord. If you didn't see that one yesterday, it's fine. This will make sense. We've got 3 chords, B minor. You can also say B minor 7. E minor, that's an E minor 7, and the A is major or a dominant 7. So minor, the B and the E are minor triads with whatever extensions you add there, and the A is a major triad, okay? And we mentioned yesterday that there's going to be a flat 7 on each one of these, okay? And you'll see how that ties in here in just a second. Now, today I will label all the thirds and the minors a flat third. And really the definition, just real quick, of that is, how many half steps it is, right? If you have a minor third, right, in a chord, making it a minor triad, there's 3 half steps between the root and the third. And if it's major, there's 4. I'm not going to play the major because we want to keep our ears, dialed in here. It's a little side note there, but that's how you can really define the difference there. Now I've got a diagram here for each one of these. I'm just going to put this first one up, and I'll put them all in the outro, and links to them on my Google Drive in the description. Okay, so you'll be able to pull them off and work off to the side or however you want to do it. So the first one is this for the B minor or B minor 7 chord. Now, they all slide from the flat 7, the dominant 7 note in each one, to the root. That's the thing that they all have in common, these shapes, these moves. Okay, so there's the diagram for that one. Now, the way I make the diagrams, I like to make them as a still like that. So you see all the notes at once from sort of an aerial view, but I walk down a little bit there at the end, right? So if you get to the top of that and you're like, well, it doesn't sound like I completed the phrase. Just walk walk it back down the same way you came, right? Until you feel that even number of notes or beats. And I'm ending on the fifth of that B minor 7 chord, okay? And that sounds kind of cool, right? And that's something that's musical right away and melodic that you can, when you play this over this progression, it already sounds like something because I'm having you land on, good stuff, okay? So, one more time. Now, uh, root, flat third, or minor third, fifth, flat 7, slide up to the root again, and then keep going. And, you may notice already, and if not, hopefully you will at some point, how much overlap there is there with that pentatonic, minor pentatonic blues scale. Right? You can start to see the shapes, both at the same time. You're playing these arpeggios, but you're like, oh yeah, that's that part of that, you know, box that I'm familiar with right there. Okay. That's the kind of stuff you want to take note of when you're going through this. The second time around that I did each arpeggio in that intro demonstration, I think I just did a little something different at the end of it. Like, it landed on the root, or just kind of walked back up to the root there. So after you get comfortable with the version that's on the diagram, or that first version there, for each one, then start walking it around and changing the phrasing up at the end of it, and then eventually kind of work that into that blues scale. Looks something like this, perhaps. All right, so we've got our track on, and I'll play kind of a straight up version of each one the first time around here, and then we'll start moving around a little bit. Remember, on the first octave each time, I'm sliding with my index finger from the flat 7 to the root to help us stay in position. Trying to keep these examples pretty straightforward. And hopefully that's a good, little program for you. After a while, when, really, let yourself go and let that improvisation happen. And, every once in a while, come back to just playing a chord statement or a simple triad, version of the arpeggio, or go for one of those whole sequences and kind of speed them up and stuff. A lot of them will overlap with the other chords in nice ways, and you can really get a lot of color and melodic stuff going. But one step at a time, right? The another kind of rule of thumb that's helpful is when you're talking about extensions, like say a minor 7 chord, or a minor 7 arpeggio, or a dominant 7 arpeggio. Anything less than 7, you got it, right? It's just going to be the triad, root, third, fifth. You don't always have to do those. This one includes root, third, fifth, and flat 7 for each one because they're all those types of chords. And we're going to do a lot more work on this channel with this sort of thing. I'm going to make some charts and a little more, some more graphic things that kind of will explain this in a way that hopefully will let you, translate other keys and stuff in a similar manner, right? Where you don't have to do each thing piecemeal, right? You get the concepts and you kind of go around and play in whatever key you want, and you have the skills and the knowledge base to figure out what those arpeggios and modes and things are going to be. So let me know how this goes. Thanks for everybody's participation in the comments and on Square, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.